Imagine what would happen if today we got 100 brilliant inventors like Tesla or Da Vinci. What would they invent? Which problems would they solve? Would we even have any problems left? Would we be able to have wings like Da Vinci wanted to make? What about wireless transfer of electricity? What about a time machine? Personally, more than anything else, I wish we could have private car-like spacecrafts like we see in Cowboy Bebop, so we could travel throughout the solar system on our own. In today's video, we'll imagine exactly what would happen if we somehow get 100 crazy genius inventors today. If we are told to name one thing that has shaped humanity more than all the other things like politics and wars, etc. combined, it would be inventions, and also discoveries alongside inventions. These two things, if we can call them that, have shaped human life more than any other thing. But the shocking aspect is that inventing is not something everybody engaged in throughout history. There have been only a handful of people who invented and discovered majority of the things, and the rest of them just copied or followed in their footsteps. But what would be the right definition of an invention? Does it have to be a physical unit or object like the bulb, a car, a TV, etc.? And how can we differentiate if a bulb is just an improved form of the lantern or it's a new thing? Can we say that a car is just the improved form of a horse buggy? Well, I think we can call the light bulb an invention and also the car an invention because nothing in this world, no invention, is made completely out of scratch. For example, even the horse buggy was made out of the wheels and carts used prior to it. Therefore, any significant improvement in any aspect should be called an invention. After all, any invention is just something we humans need at the time. Like when we lived in forest, we invented fire because we needed it. We also invented stone tools because we couldn't survive without them. And we still keep making stuff that would make our lives easier. Things that would save us from pain and bring us more comfort and pleasure. And throughout history there have been many inventions, but there are a handful of them that really shaped our lives. And it all works like a house of cards. If you just take away one invention, the entire civilization can collapse since a lot of inventions depend on each other. For example, if you take away just electricity, the entire civilization would collapse because all the other inventions like the computers and lights and appliances, etc., all depend on electricity to function. The same way, if you just take away the wheel, all other inventions like cars, trains, planes, etc. would stop functioning. Inventions exist because we lack certain abilities. Okay, so today we have ships roaming in our seas. Do you think we would have ships if Earth was a one giant continent like Pangea? There wouldn't be any seas between lands, so even if we would use ships, they would be very rare and occasionally used. And what about airplanes if humans were lightweight and had wings? I mean, you could fly to the other end of the city in just a minute, so would you use a car in that scenario? Same way we wouldn't have diving gear or submarines, etc. if we could breathe underwater as well. If our brains developed some sort of radio communication and telepathy, and we could talk to each other brain to brain and even show each other images from our imagination, we wouldn't really use smartphones or the internet. In fact, many scientists believe the future of the internet is the brain net. The point is that all the inventions exist because we humans lack certain abilities. Therefore, we create objects that we call inventions to make up for our lack of certain capabilities. Also, anything we invent has to be safe and accepted socially. If it doesn't look cool, we don't really use it even if it's actually useful. This gives us a good framework to imagine what these 100 genius inventors would invent. So let's look at what they would be. Imagine on screen. Elon Musk is working on his brain-computer interface. But imagine if a team of brilliant inventors joined in and worked on this together. It is possible that in just a few years they would find ways to project images in our imagination directly on our tablets and computer screens. So you could see what you're imagining on the screen. You can make it be still and modify it however you want. A lot like what the AI art does, but it would be a direct reflection of your imagination instead of using a text prompt. The definition of consciousness. These days, everybody has a definition of what it means to be alive. What consciousness is. Is there a little man inside everybody's head like people used to believe just 100 or so years ago? I think if we had inventors and scientists like Newton and Da Vinci dedicated to today's questions like the question of consciousness, we might see an accurate and detailed enough answer of what consciousness truly is. I mean, the body is like a hardware of a computer, and the consciousness can simply be a software. Now, you cannot touch a software. It only exists in a form of pixels which create an illusion for your eyes, and you perceive it as images. So it is possible that our consciousness is also just a software that we cannot touch or pinpoint its location in the brain or anything. Like a software, it isn't physical and doesn't exist in physical form. Instead, it exists in form of brain pixels, if we can call it that. And we see the illusion of its existence in return. Another way to space. It's been almost 80 years, and we basically have not seen any other way to get to space other than rockets. Recently, we have been seeing news of technology in our skies which travels faster and even goes to space without using fuel like rockets do. Now, are these aliens? Are these secret government programs? Whatever it is, one thing is certain. There are more ways to go in space than using traditional 100-year-old rocket technology of burning fuel. And I think if we have 100 Teslas working on space technology, we surely would end up with something like a UFO. The possibilities, it seems, are endless. There are many other things that would be created as a result of these brilliant inventors. We might see some form of a silent flying car, even if people like Elon Musk believe it cannot be done. We might even see some personal car like spacecrafts we could use to travel to the moon or Mars on our own. We might even see some superfoods or drugs that would enhance brain capabilities 100-fold, but that all is for another episode, maybe? It depends if you like this video and subscribe. I'll make the part 2 of this video. Okay, take care. Until next time.